Microsoft Access is great for very small databases of say 5 to 10 users. Anything more, then it starts to get a little bit unstable, and we should think about moving it to a stronger, more scalable database. And Microsoft have another product called SQL Server, which does just that. It has better security, better stability, and you can store more data in it. The one thing you can't do is design screens and things like that, but it's mainly for holding data and running queries, which are called stored procedures. So here we have a SQL Server system. It's basically a server which holds a number of databases. And here you can see I've got the North Wind database. And if we click on tables, we can see all the system tables as well as the various ones in the North Wind system itself. So it looks a lot like Access. As mentioned, it doesn't have the front-end capability, but what we can do is we can design our screens in Access and then connect them to a more stable back-end like SQL Server. So in order to use the functionality of SQL Server within Microsoft Access, we create what's known as an Access Data Project in Access 2003. So I've got Access open here. I'll go up to File and I'll select New, and I'll select Project using New Data. It's asking us where to save it and to give it a name, so we'll call it ADP SQL Access Test, create, and now it's asking us what server we want to use for the database. Okay, I'm going to select the local one. My SQL Server is local, but yours might be on servers. And I'll select Use Trusted Connection, which picks up the Windows ID. With the Windows login, it's automatically picked up. Click Next. And the wizard's got all the information it needs now to create your SQL Server database, so we'll click Finish. And it goes away, creates it, and there we are. It's created our ADP SQL Access Test. Now if we switch to SQL Server and we do a refresh, we can see that our ADP SQL Access Test SQL database is here as well. It's in SQL Server. So now if we create a new table in Microsoft Access, notice we only get the data types now for SQL Server. We don't actually see any Access data types. So we don't find things like auto number anymore. Select int, select identity to yes. This is how we set the equivalent of auto number in SQL Server. Set the primary key. And I've just set a couple of other fields there called first name, last name. We'll save the table and we'll call it table 1. Click OK. Close the table. Now if we go back to SQL Server and we look at our tables, we need to just refresh the list now. And there it is. There's our new table, table 1. If we open it now in Design, these are our fields that we entered in Access, now showing in SQL Server. We can actually create forms in a normal way in Access. We don't have this ability in SQL Server, but we can do the same thing in Access. Drag on our fields, run the form. One record there, John Smith. Back to SQL Server. We open our table now. We can see we have the one record there, John Smith. We've also got the ability to create queries in Access and stored procedures. Now stored procedures are unique to SQL Server. You don't normally find them in Access. We normally find queries in Access, but we can also now, because we're connected to SQL Server, we can create queries and stored procedures. So basically we've got the full SQL Server functionality within Access. We've got a much stronger back end now, so in case our database, Access database, should get corrupted, we've got the ability to use a stronger database like SQL Server on the back end.